Hey everybody, Saru here, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing and a mini overview of the Super Nintendo Classic Edition here on Retro Japan. Alright, so today I got this little guy in the mail, a bit earlier than I was expecting. I think we were supposed to get this on Friday, but we got it today, and it's Wednesday. It's the Super Nintendo Mini. Here's the packaging, very nice, super gloss. Let's go ahead and open this guy up now. Now you're playing with power. It's a nice little touch. I think the NES Classic Mini also had something in there, or I think it's a Now You're Playing with Power in the flap. Some standard stuff here. Looks like the manual for it, which is printed on the back of a cool little poster showing us the library that's included for the Super Nintendo Mini. Just screenshots of all the games with little descriptions of the highlighted titles that they have. Very cool. On the back here we've got the actual instructions on how to hook it up. Then we've got the standard connector here. You've got your USB to wall plug here, Nintendo branded. The USB cable to connect to the power block. A Nintendo branded HDMI cable, which is nice. We've got the Super Nintendo controller, which feels very much like a regular Super Nintendo controller. I believe they're the same size, probably. I think the size differs a little bit. I'm not sure. Here we have the Super Nintendo Mini console itself. As you can see, it's really small and super cute. Very nice. I never really cared for the actual design of the Super Nintendo, but here it is. Here's the DC power and HDMI out. Pretty simple stuff. You have your power button and your reset button. Eject button doesn't really do anything since there's no actual cartridge slot. It's just there for aesthetics. You've got the LED light here, indicates power. And the controller port, which is cool. You kind of just pull those out. You have your two standard plugs. Looks like the same plugs that you would have for like your Wiimote and whatnot. And apparently you can use the NES Classic controllers and they'll work just fine. Not sure why you would want to use the NES Classic controller with only two buttons, but you know, maybe you're up for a challenge. Here we have the Super NES Mini next to the Famicom Mini, which is the only. I don't have an NES Mini because they were impossible to get, and I didn't pre-order anything, but I did end up getting a Famicom Mini since I do like import consoles more than the domestic ones. I will be getting the Super Famicom Mini as soon as I'm able to, but here they are for comparison. They're both really small, as the name suggests. Another thing that they've improved upon is the actual size of the cable. They're no longer short little 3-foot cable or 2-foot cable as they were before. Now they are about, I don't know what this is, 6 feet? I'm guessing. A lot longer. Still a bit on the short side. You might want to use one of those extension cables that third parties like Nyko and such made for the NES Mini. They'll work here so that you don't have to sit in front of your TV and play this. You can get some distance between you and your large TV. Pretty cool though. Nice little compact design. Very well made, sturdy feel. I like it so far. When you first boot up the console, you get to pick what language that you want it in. I want it in English because reasons. So let's get into the game. We've got Contra 3: The Alien Wars, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, F-Zero, Final Fantasy III, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and Yoshi's Island. So the selection of games is pretty good. I know a lot of people wanted things like Chrono Trigger on here and some other games. I would have liked a bunch of different games on here as well. One of my favorite games for the Super Nintendo was Legend of the Mystical Ninja, which I believe was actually added to the Japanese version. The Super Famicom Mini has that game. I don't recall. I did do a video on the list of the games that would be included in both of them. If you want to check it out, it's on my channel.
It's time for revenge.
Let's attack aggressively.
But the game list is pretty solid. It's got all of your Super Mario games. It's got Street Fighter on it. It's got Contra. It's got F-Zero. It's got everything you're going to want to play and remember for the most part. A lot of the hits and a lot of good third-party games. I mean, who could forget The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past? I have to say that it is my absolute favorite of the Zelda games up until this day. I was never really big into the newer games, so I guess my opinion is going to be kind of biased because I'm big into 2D gaming, and Link to the Past is an amazing game. But one of the games that everybody has been wanting to get the Super Nintendo Classic Mini for is Star Fox 2, which you can actually unlock by beating the first stage of Star Fox. And it's kind of nice to be able to buy Star Fox 2 in an official capacity, actually released by Nintendo. One thing I want to say about Star Fox 2 is that it adds a lot more than the original game did. I loved the original game and I thought it was awesome, and I thought it was really ahead of its time. But Star Fox 2 has, you've got these little walker guys, the stages just have a lot more depth. The game itself is a lot faster than Star Fox was. Star Fox, playing it nowadays, feels a little slow. I still like it, I enjoy it, but it's a lot slower than I actually remember it being. But Star Fox 2 picks up the pace, and it's really cool, and I'm going to have a lot of fun playing this one. And Nintendo really wanted everyone to get in on the action. There's a bunch of two-player games here, which is really cool, with some games that you can play co-op, like Contra 3 and The Secret of Mana, and games that you can play competitively, like Street Fighter 2 and Super Mario Kart. I really feel Nintendo went with a very balanced choice as far as the roster of games here, with some action platforming games, a fighting game, some racing games, and even a few RPGs. The video quality is really nice and crisp, with the emulation being pretty close to the original. Gameplay is noticeably, to me, it's the same, seemingly the same. I say almost because the audio is not quite there. The audio does sound a little higher pitched than normal. Maybe the sound is just a little too crisp coming through the HDMI. I do remember feeling the Super Nintendo, the Super Famicom sound being a little bit more thumpy. Like I said, that could just be the HDMI signal. The audio processing on the HDMI is just different, maybe, and the sound is just a little too sharp. But I gather that a lot of gamers won't really notice the difference, and the general gamer is just going to play and enjoy and have a lot of fun with this console. It looks good, it sounds good, it's got a good amount of games, and as far as I know, people are already hacking it to put on their own games. I haven't done so. I just got the thing, so I'm probably going to enjoy it in its original intended use, and maybe in the future I might hack it for some other games, but who knows. But so far I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm going to be playing these games throughout the night. Now, I was lucky enough and did manage to get one of these pre-orders of the Super Nintendo Classic Mini through BestBuy.com. I had originally pre-ordered it with Walmart, but as you know, many people had their pre-orders canceled when they ordered them on Walmart, which really sucked because the order went through and everything, and then a week later everybody gets an email saying, hey, you know what, screw you, you're not getting it. But Nintendo does say that they're going to be producing these in much larger numbers than they did with the NES Classic Mini, which is good. I don't know how many more they're going to produce of the Super Nintendo Classic Mini over the NES Classic Mini, but they say that the numbers are going to be a lot more abundant. So here's hoping that there's going to be enough for everybody to be able to enjoy it. I did remember seeing on YouTube lines for people getting the Super Famicom Mini in Japan, so I fear that that's going to be difficult to get, but hopefully it's not going to be too difficult to get because I want it. It looks cute and it's got different games and I want to check it out and I want to review it, so hopefully I get one. But that's it for my mini unboxing and little overview of the Super Nintendo Classic Mini. What do you guys think about the Super Nintendo Classic Mini? Will you be getting one? I know a lot of people are going to jump in and be like, yeah, you just get a Raspberry Pi and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, this is more of a novelty item than anything. For me, anyway. I have the original consoles, but it's cute, and it's a cool little conversation piece. You want to play some quick Super Nintendo, you could always grab it, throw it in your backpack, and take it with you, and play at your friends or what have you. But, I mean, you can do that pretty much with the Switch now, too, and Virtual Console and all that other stuff. But it's not as cute, so there you have it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and until next time, shoutouts go out to Ruben Vaquer, The Crazy Cubano, George Gia, Moonjelly Kevin, Cybergirl 007, Quincy Vatican, and to my newest patrons, Ryan Goetz, Aussie Awesome, and Element 5. If you want to be a part of this list and get early content as well as patron-only content, check out my Patreon in the link below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.